at the hotel, you train for 2 weeks how to sell cars. I excelled in that because I've been selling people, you know. And it's a funny thing, but I found out later that he had gone back because he knew this was going to cause a problem. He went back and got the entire sales force.
Who was it that went back?
Darrell Rawson was the name of the dealership. Darrell Rawson. He called his sales force in to tell him he's going to hire this black guy and want to know, did anybody object? I think it was like 14 of them. 12 of them objected. They didn't want no parts of it. In fact, 2 of them quit. Because he told them, I'm going to hire this guy. This guy is, I think this guy's going to work. I think this guy's going to do it. I'm going to hire him. I wish I'd give him a chance. 2 of them quit. They wasn't going to work with no black salesman. They never had no black salesman down here. That was an elite job down here. You know, and so he said, and it's a funny thing, the guy that raised the most thing became my best buddy. He and I became the best of friends. In fact, he is running the dealership over in Bluefield right now. Calls me once a week when we come to work for him. I said, you go to hell. Yeah. I said, I'm retired, there were no problems right here. But he tell me all the time, man, I voted against you, and I'm so sorry. I said, I don't want your apology. But it was, I did pretty good in it, yeah.
So, how did you navigate that one? Coming to work in a hostile atmosphere. People.
The guy that stayed, the guys that had voted against, they wasn't real ravish, I guess you'd call it. They just wasn't happy. Once I set foot down about a week, they saw just another regular guy. You know, this guy is here to make money like we are. You know, they didn't. A couple of them still held it against me, but most of them didn't. They got over it, except for the 2 that quit. It's a funny thing. The one that quit went over here to Oak Hill for a job, and I got mad one day and was looking for a job, and I went over here, and he was over there. I said, "Oh no, I can't go over there." But anyway, that's what I did. I came back to West Virginia, sold cars for 20 years, retired, done had enough, old enough. I'm sitting here playing solitaire. My wife going to work every day. She comes in. I'm waiting on her to get dinner. I don't cook. She said, I'm working and you're here all day. You need to do something. I said, well, it's nothing for me to do at my age. She said, yes it is. Here, look, I cut this out the newspaper. They're hiring school bus drivers. I said, well, I don't want to do that. I'm too old for that. Well, believe it or not, to make a long story short, I applied for a school bus driver and got the job. Got the job as a temp. You know, I was extra. Did that for 5 years. They begged me every year to sign on permanent, and I said no. I'm just doing this to satisfy my wife to get out the house for a couple of years. But then when she retired, I went over. I just went to it. But I did that for 5 years. That was the worst job I ever had. Them kids are awful. Yes, sir, they are real terrible. I don't see how a school teacher pull with that. Every day. And them school buses didn't have air conditioning. Daylight to day, it was murder. Absolute murder. They hot, windows down, throwing stuff. It's just a mess. But that's about it for me, huh?
So you are a product of segregated segregated education here in West Virginia.
Oh yes.
What are your feelings looking at what happened subsequently? What are your feelings about integration?
For a long time, I was pretty upset about it.
About what?
My class at DuBois High School, I think we had 79 in that class. Back then, that was a pretty big class. You know, that was a pretty big class. I don't know, I thought they purposely waited till this big class graduated before they integrated. That may not be the reason, but I always felt that. And we had some pretty genes in our class. Not Gene Evansmore, we had about 15 of them in our class.
What do you mean?
Don't gonna take no stuff. Go tell you like it is, and you know, I'm serious. We had pretty smart class. They very, very smart. Most of them, a lot of them had parents for school teachers. You know, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but I promise you, I don't think that I would have sit down and let them come in. Our school, they had already, when they come to the school, I didn't know this a couple of years later, they come with their class officers, their cheerleaders, the majorette. The only thing they didn't come with were football and basketball players. That's the only thing that they could let the blacks do when they integrate. In our school, I thought that was horrible. I never told anybody that. I told my wife, I said, I just don't think I would have stood for that. I just don't think, you know. I'm kind of glad they let me go on because I'd have probably been in jail. You know, because
You wouldn't have stood for that.
no way.
Michael, we need to make a battery change.
Okay.
Is there a battery in on